Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Deja Vu, and I am bringing you set 2 from the match between Hwaesung and Samsung Khan in the round 4 week 7 of the Shanbang Proleague. This map is going to be Heartbreak Ridge. It's going to be between Backho and Stork. In set 1, Jangbi took down GG Amo on God's Garden, so this is a 1-0 lead right now for Samsung Khan. And this is going to be a PvP matchup. The rest of the games in this match are going to be mirror matchups, which we've been seeing so much of in this round. It's just like PvP and DBZ everywhere. This is going to be Heartbreak Ridge, and Heartbreak Ridge it has just been a place where we've just, Protosses have been all over it. There's so many Protosses that have been playing on it. I think something like 27, 30 games, 30 of the games or so have had Protoss on it, and that is just a ridiculous number. And Protoss has actually been doing very well in every single matchup. That's kind of why it's happening, because in the ZVP it's Protoss 60%, PvT it's Protoss 70%. So it doesn't look like the other races have had too much luck against Protoss on Heartbreak Ridge. And I'll get you your start positions here real fast. Left and right. It's going to be Stork on the left in purple at the 9 o'clock. It's going to be Backho on the right in white at the 3 o'clock position. And Heartbreak Ridge, you have to remember, does have that does have some interesting map features in that it does have an extremely narrow choke between your main and your natural, and between your that choke and your actual natural mining, there's another ramp that can be taken advantage of. The ramp goes to a back area that is protected by some minerals and a temple. So if the temple goes down, or if the minerals are mined out, or say a probe is tricked over for some cheese, those are definitely possibilities for some cheese, or just for some tactical advantage there. We have seen that come into play a few times here. And just giving you a few statistics, Backho is 47% overall, 50% versus Protoss. He has won his last 2 Protoss games, but they were against the Tester in the OSL. Tester's a pretty average player, whatever. Nothing real special about him, so can't really say too much about that. But however, in the GOM Classic Season 2 last year, he actually did take down Stork in a best of 3 matchup. So historically, I guess in the latest matchup between these 2 players, Backho does have the advantage. And it looks like both players are going with standard builds right now, putting down pylons at 8 and gateway going up for Backho here, and gateway going down for Stork as well. So both players playing pretty standard here, going 8 pylon, 10 gate, and then going in scouting after gateway. And I don't know if the probes might be crossing. Maybe not. I can't really tell. Okay, yeah, the probes are going to cross. The probes actually both went through the middle there. There's a double expansion in the middle. What happens in the middle, there's an upper set of ridges that will go around the center, and that will take you to your enemy base, or you can go on a lower set of ridges to get to your enemy base. And then in the middle there's a double expansion there, and both players were just checking out the double expansion, making sure that their opponent wasn't cheesing or something. And Stork throwing a pylon behind his base, actually behind his mineral line there, so that way the probe for Backho can't maneuver as well and should be easier to take down. And that probe just trying to being annoying, trying to throw down a mana pylon, but he was not able to because Stork saw it and was able to get a probe in the way just in time. And it looks like Backho, instead of throwing down an anti-mana pylon, he's just throwing a Zealot down there. So Stork's not going to be able to throw down a mana pylon either. Cybernetics core going up now for Stork, and I've seen the same for Backho. And it's going to be very important for both of these players to rid themselves of these scouting probes, because you really need to get rid of the scouting probes before you throw up your tech building after Cybernetics core. Because if you go for, let's say you throw down a robotics facility, then your opponent knows that you're not going DT, so they can throw down a robotics facility as well and go straight to reavers and not have to worry about detection at all. Whereas if, let's say, you want to go DTs and you throw down a Citadel of the Doom, it will be very, very obvious to your opponent what you are doing as well, and they can go robotics facility, get up an observer, and be prepared for the DTs. So neither player able to take down the scouting probe so far. In fact, very little damage done to either of them. And this is going to be interesting. And Stork Cybernetics core is spinning, so he's getting Dragoon range, and the same for Backho. Of course, once the probes do go down, it's possible that one or either player will cancel the Dragoon range and try and get a robotics facility up quicker, or get some other tech buildings up Dragoon has been produced for both players, so that will usher away the probe. Although Backho is Stork's probe is in Backho's base a little bit longer here, whereas Backho just pulled his probe out as soon as he saw the Dragoon. But I anticipate Stork's probe will go down pretty easily. And Stork is throwing up a robotics facility, and Backho is throwing up a robotics facility. So yeah, this is going to be a complete mirror. We'll see if one player decides to skip observers and go straight to reavers, or if they both go, observers first and play it a little bit safer. If you do go robotic support play first, you will get reavers out a little bit early, and if you push out with your Dragoon reaver build, you might be able to do a little bit more damage. And both players throwing down pylons in random places. I think this is more for scouting purposes. I don't think either player is going to really use these pylons for proxy builds or anything like that. I think it's just simply to scout against shuttles that could come in, and that is going to be their main purpose. And both players presumably throwing down a second gateway. We see Storks, and I assume Backho has his second gateway going up as well. And now we're going to see what tech choice Stork makes. Let's see what building he throws up. Let's see. And I really want to see this. And Backho taking a probe into the top right. They're going to check out his back right, make sure nothing's there. Probably going to throw a pylon. Yeah, he's going to throw a pylon up there as well. Once again, for scouting purposes. And I can't tell what other player's doing. Observatory for Backho, so he's going to play it a little safer. Going to go with observers before he gets out his reavers. Stork is going to play a little riskier. He's going to throw in his support bay and hope guess correctly, that Backho is not going for DTs. It seems logical to think that your opponent won't go DTs on this map because it is a very long distance to get to your to get from base to base, and also because of that very narrow choke. If you say you see the shadow and you know that the DTs are coming, you can just throw a Dragoon or two right in that block, and you can hold off the DT, just physically hold off the DT for long enough until you can get an observer out. Very likely, at least I would think that would be a viable option for you. And Stork is stopping the scouting probe for Backho, but it does look like Backho is going to be throwing up an expansion, and that is huge. That is a big choice by him throwing up that expansion and getting that observer. That's why he went for that observer, just going to play it safe here. And I don't know if Stork knows about it, but if but normally with this Dragoon Reaver build, you do push out as soon as you get out your first Reaver or two. So as long as he pushes out at a normal time, he will have a military advantage on Backho. It's a relatively significant military advantage on Backho, and it will require Backho to have some extremely good micro, some very good army placement in order to deal with it. And now we see Stork's army is coming out with 2 or 3 zealots and a bunch of dragoons. I think it's about half a dozen dragoons. And Backho definitely has significantly less army. And he's actually, yeah, he's got, well, not that much less right now. He's got 2 zealots and half a dozen dragoons of his own. But the big difference is going to be the reaver that will come in for Stork.